we got to talk about Matvei. I cannot believe what Michkov has done. And if you want to celebrate, there's no better way to celebrate than with a Michkov Mania shirt or maybe a Mad Russian hoodie. Whatever it is, you can get it right now. 30% off for our Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever weekend. It's go online shopping, buy some merch to celebrate this win. 30% off. Store.allcitynetwork.com right now. Look at the selection, the Mad Russian stuff, the Michkov Mania. You got to celebrate, Chuck, because, my God, I thought, the setup to the Owen Tippett goal to open the scoring tonight
was good enough play.
That was fine.
Fantastic pass.
Okay, he made his
Truly.
one play that made us all go, oh, yeah, that guy's special. Yeah. And then in overtime, because, of course, the game goes to overtime, he scores on a breakaway against Jordan Binnington, who looked like the Jordan Binnington who came into Philly in his first career start and shut them out en route to a Stanley Cup a couple of years ago. He was on fire tonight, but Mish beat him in overtime for his third OT winner of the season, tying him for the teenage record with Sidney Crosby, with Ilya Kovalchuk, and with Rick Nash. I'll take any of those guys.
Yeah. Rick Nash is the floor for Matvei Michkov now? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that's just the way it is. And I think for the rookie record, just like in your rookie year, I believe it's 4, Cole Caulfield and Shane Gostisbehere. Neither were teenagers.
Well, obviously, yeah. Shane was older.
was like 22.
Yeah.
And Cole's was because he had 2 in like the 10 games he got called up.
Okay.
And then 2 in his like full rookie year.
Okay, gotcha.
And those are the 2 guys with the most OT winners as rookies.
Here's the intriguing part of this. So the stat is that there are now 4 players who have scored 3 overtime game winners. I guess there is no other type of overtime goal. They're all game winners while they were teenagers. So Michkov now has 3. Okay. He turns 20 on December 9th. We have 3 more opportunities for a game to go to overtime and Michkov to get his 4th overtime game winner to be the only player to have 4 overtime game winners as a teenager. We're running out of time, but this Flyers team, like every single game basically goes into overtime, so I can't rule out the possibility. I truly cannot.
Their 8th overtime game in their last 12. 10 overtime games overall this season.
Yeah, eight in the month of November, 8 and 14.
Absolutely insane. And yeah, they have Florida on the 5th, Boston on the 7th, and then the eve of his birthday, home against Utah on the 8th. Mish just crushing a bunch of, honestly, like a bunch of narratives. One, I started, like the back-to-back. He hasn't been great in short turnarounds between games. This wasn't maybe your like traditional back-to-back. They played at 1 yesterday. They're at 7.
Still with travel.
But it's still,
it was a 3 and 4.
They had to travel. It's a 3 and 4. He looked a little, I mean, the whole line was bad yesterday. Tippett, Frost, and Mish. We talked in post-game, like,
I thought it was more.
This is kind of an Owen Tippett problem.
Yeah,
with a little bit of Morgan Frost.
Yeah, I didn't think Michkov was bad on Friday. I thought his 2 line mates were bad.
But in the second game of a back-to-back, he comes out, just a nice little 2-point performance, including an OT winner.
Including the game winner.
I'm almost like worried because we're so used to no one living up to the hype. Like someone just said to me, like, well, how good would they be if this player and this player lived up? I'm like, you can say that about basically every draft pick since 2012. Yeah. What if they were as good as we hoped they were going to be? Yeah. Well, then we'd want to have won a Stanley Cup by now, honestly. And like, Misha's this good and he's this good right away. And we're watching every game. Listen, he's scoring. He's phenomenal. He's nowhere close to a complete player.
No, he has much more things he can improve upon to make himself a better all-around player. But the one thing he has already is this flair for the dramatic. It just seems like, and the article I wrote last Saturday after the last overtime game winner he scored was more a thought piece on the last 10 plus years of Flyers history and the fact that it just seemed like every time the Flyers had the opportunity to step up, they would always shrink from the moment. And I'm certainly not the person who's going to be like, oh, it's all Claude Giroux's fault, bad captain, or like those guys. But For whatever reason,
for some reason,
that team,
it went wrong.
It always seemed to go wrong whenever the most eyes were. And I'm not saying that a lot of people watched this game.
No.
Probably not. But it was in overtime. And it's getting to the point where, and it's crazy we're saying this about a 19-year-old, but it's getting to the point where you expect that Michkov is going to come through in these moments. And, you know, honestly, hilariously enough, like the last guy I can remember that I thought about that with the Flyers was Danny Briere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that was a playoff thing, especially like, yeah, we need a goal in the third, man. It's like, oh, he's going to put home a rebound.
Yeah.
And he would.
Yeah.
It's very, very, and like, while I bet, like, no, I'm sure this wasn't like the most watched game of the season. I bet you a lot of casual eyes tonight. Big get-together night. Like Saturday, holiday season.
Yeah, people are home.
People just have it on.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there was some casual eyes tonight, and maybe you want to get them hooked. Get some Michkov stuff stored at ALLCITYNetwork.com. No, I really like that piece you wrote because, like, even G, who we are both huge fans of, for whatever reason, like the playoffs would come and those teams would falter, and you'd look at his stat line at the end and be like, that could have been better.
Yeah.
But like we joke all the time. It was a few years ago now, but like that Halloween game against Pittsburgh, Flyers out to a great start. Let's tune in. This is going to be a big one. National TV, 7-0.
Yeah.
Crushed. Yeah. And it was like, oh yeah, you told me to watch this team. Like, no, that wasn't me.
They would do that all the time.
It was a regular thing.
Every single time. The Ed Snyder game, it's like, oh, they're coming back home. You know, then they make the playoffs.
They score right away. It's crazy in there.
Crazy, going crazy. Then they get blown out. The bracelets are everywhere. I'm thinking back to, game 82, Claude Giroux scores the hat trick to get into the playoffs. They're playing the Penguins. It's like, hell yeah, this team.
Here we go.
And then they lose 7-0 in game one.
Yeah.
Like, these are just the things that always happen. And then every time you be like, oh, maybe I'm going to get back in. Nope, we're going to be loosey with the football again. And this kid, for whatever reason, and like it wasn't even just that the play was him. Like Travis Konecny made an incredible play on that goal.
Amazing play to set it up.
Yes, but how many times has Travis Konecny in his career made an incredible play to set up a teammate who then shoots wide or hits the post or shoots it right into the goalie's chest?
How many breakaways and odd man rushes did the Flyers not score on tonight?
Yeah.
How many empty nets did they not score?
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
It's just very, very exciting to have a player who, and like, yeah, the details and the two-way play and all that stuff. I was joking with Charlie, like, I really want Mish to spend the whole summer like in a power skating camp. I thought he was getting caught on that breakaway.
Yeah.
I thought he was getting caught, but like, he's not even his fully formed, and he's an offensive genius, as you've called him.
Yeah.
He's not even his fully formed self there yet.
Yeah.
Like you see stuff, it wasn't there tonight. Like there's the defenseman, he pulls the Michigan, he gets rocked. Now, it was a roughing or an elbow or something.
Yeah,
probably.
He was bleeding a little bit above his lip, to be sure. Probably could have called something.
There don't appear to be rules on that play.
No.
Like if the defenseman breaks your stick, it's not slashing.
Exactly. Like when we were watching the game here, I equated the Michigan to the tush push in football.
It's a very good comparison.
The officials hate so much that it's legal that they're willing to let the defense break every rule to stop it. And it seems like they view the Michigan the same way, where there's all these older hockey people who are like grumbling that they can't call a penalty immediately on it. So, hey, if you want to like literally choke a guy trying to do the Michigan, it's fine. All good.
No, and that's like he'll pick his spots and pull some of that stuff differently as he matures. Like we're talking about a guy who, what is he, 22 games into his career now? 23, I think tonight was.
Yeah, because he's got scratched twice.
Yeah, he got scratched twice.
So 23 games.
Yeah, tonight was game 25.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's game 23. Like three of his first 23 games, he's won in overtime. Yeah. I'm just so elated that he really is living up to the hype. And I know it was like just posturing to try to lower our expectations this summer. Like, listen, he's 19. He's a non-English speaking immigrant in North America for the first time. Yeah. Like, maybe let's pull back the expectations. It was like, they know he's good. Like, there's a reason they went and picked up, but they want the public. If his first week goes by and he doesn't score, they don't want this is the guy. Huh?
And also,
but he's even better than I thought.
One thing about that, too, that I don't think maybe people understood on some level, they just didn't care. One of the big reasons why the Flyers did what they did in the lead up to the season where they were downplaying him a little bit. They weren't using him in every single marketing material. Not, he would be on the billboard, but with 5 other guys. One of the big reasons
in front.
One of the big reasons why they did that is they didn't want to set up a dynamic from the start of the year where every other player on the team resents him. They wanted it to be the way it is, where it seems like everyone on the team is genuinely happy for the kid because it doesn't feel like he is. And look, they know on some level that all the fans are way more excited to see Matvei Michkov than they are to see even Travis Konechny. But it's the guys further down the line. Like, I'm very interested to see what Tyson Forrester becomes. I like his talent level.
Yeah.
But like,
that's me and you.
Let's be honest here. Most people don't care that much. They only care about the kid. But there was a reason why the Flyers felt like they had to downplay him a little bit. And it wasn't just because like, oh, Danny's lying to us again. No. It was because there is a team dynamic that they wanted to be accounting for. And the fact that if you put him front and center in every billboard and every interview and everything, you probably were going to have, it's human nature. You're going to have people on that team who otherwise would have been open to this Michkov thing because it's exciting. You have this talented young player. We want to win. Would have been like, hey, I've been in the league for 8 years and I don't get any attention at all. That could have happened. Instead, they did it the way they did it, I believe, because they wanted the team to embrace him in a way that I believe they are. Like, you get the sense, you watch them talking on the bench. I've watched guys talking to him in the locker room after practices and stuff. And it does seem like there's a genuine sense of excitement when the guys are chatting with him, and I wouldn't say that they get a kick out of him. Like, they got a kick out of Yegor Zamul. Yegor Zamul is funny in like a kind of like a goofy way.
Yeah.
Whereas with Michkov, it just seems like they're just happy he's there, which is really cool. And I do think that part of the reason why they downplayed him a little bit was to cut off at the head the possibility that guys might resent him a little bit.
And that's understandable. Like, I was just, while you were explaining all that, I'm just thinking of the dynamic of the Flyers front office and like the common sense stuff that Keith Jones, that we praise them for, but like Keith Jones was in a locker room with a team that resented Eric Lindros.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't want that to happen again.
Listen, Eric Lindros is likely the best player, even if Matvei Michkov goes to the Hall of Fame. Eric Lindros might be the best player we ever watch in this town.
Most talented,
our
possibly,
age.
Like, in terms of the physical tools.
Ask anyone on that 2000 team.
Oh, they still
if he doesn't come back, they think they win the cup.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody on that team hates Eric Lindros, but there are people who were on that team who still actively dislike Eric Lindros.
Yeah, there are some.
There sure are.
Like
Can confirm.
John LeClaire thinks it's like, John LeClaire recognizes like, oh yeah, man, like I scored 50 goals like, because I played with him. He knows.
The guy was real good, but he helped.
But like that locker room, by and large, there was a divide.
Yeah, of course.
And I think of like what Keith Jones is here to do. It's so much of it is common sense stuff. It's like, let's not do that again. Yeah, let's not call him the next one.
Exactly.
What if we don't do that?
Exactly. Like, but by the same token, Keith Jones did, and he was the one person who slipped up. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, probably intentional because it was a team driven production. But during the standard videos, there was one moment. It was on like the second or third video where he called him a future superstar, and it was like, yeah, they know. They know.
They ran up to draft him for a reason. Like, come on. Danny fell in love with this guy when they met him, and like, we're all falling in love as the season goes. This is a whole lot of fun right now. I know there's a big, just not even like 1 and 2 contingents. Like, there's a lot of people, a lot of Flyers fans who are like, either you don't think they're doing the rebuild right, or Danny should have traded for Jiricek, something that happened today. Like, there's a lot of discontentment with some different areas of the team and the organization.
And maybe
but if you're not enjoying Matvei Michkov, man, like, this is all we've wanted.
Yeah, and I also think that a lot of that discontentment is isolated to Twitter. And I think I would guess, if I had to guess, I would guess that the vast majority of the overarching group of Flyers fans, not the ones that are on Twitter, but just overall Flyers, I think Flyers fans are pretty excited about everything. I really do.
I think you have to be excited about what Misha's doing. And like, as we said, as a teenager for 3 more games, the emergence of TK and Travis Sanheim. Like, if you've been following this team closely, it's like, well, finally, this is what we wanted. Thank you, guys. Like, you are high-level players. And if we have a chance, I want to talk a little about Four Nations, because the next time we have a show is Wednesday, the 4th. And that's the day the rosters get announced.
Yeah,
so we'll know the answer.
The U.S. and Canadian teams at night, apparently. Finland and Sweden will be during the day, so we won't know when we do the show.
Okay.
But we'll be able to talk about it. One thing I do also want to say, though, about Michkov, because you mentioned a few minutes ago about the skating. And I do agree with you that it would be great if he could get like a half step quicker. That would be awesome. And he's got the kind of drive and work ethic that I think he will work to get just a little bit quicker. That said, on both the assist and the goal, I think he knew exactly how fast he had to be skating to make sure that they got close, but not close enough.
Yes.
I think that if he had to, he could have skated faster on both of those plays. It's just that he's a supercomputer and he's like, okay, I know that I can go just this slow to weigh my options without having to worry that I'm going to get stripped from behind. So I think that while I agree with you, he could use a little bit more of a burst. I don't know if those two plays are good examples of it, because I think he knew exactly how slow he could go.
The assist, especially the way he used his footwork and kind of centered himself, because he has the one defender is facing him and another one is chasing the play. And if that backside defender just beelines to the far post to try to take away Tippett, maybe he gets there.
Yeah.
The way Michkov centered himself, it was like, I have to guard, I have to defend the shot.
I can get him. Like, I can
get to him.
I can catch him.
And that allowed the pass to just open right up.
Exactly.
Like, perhaps he was thinking. And
there
awesome.
aren't that many players that I would say I believe he was thinking that far ahead, but Michkov is one of those guys. I do. I do think that, like, on that breakaway, because that guy almost caught him from behind, but on that breakaway, he is thinking in his head, if I try to do this too fast, I won't have as much time to get off the type of move I want to get off. If I go a little bit slower, it just may make the goalie freeze a little bit more, but I know how fast I have to go to make sure that he's not going to check me from behind and break up the play. I think he is intelligent enough in terms of his hockey IQ to know that, honestly, without even having to like specifically think about it. It just comes naturally.
It's a feel.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Not to continue doing the football comparisons, but pocket presence. When you just see the quarterback drop back, and somehow he knows that the blind side defender is about to hit him.
Yeah,
and so he takes off.
Exactly.
Like, it's just that.
Yeah, it's a feel.
That feel, and he has it. I think we have enough anecdotal evidence to be like, no, he is thinking 10 different things at once.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.